Hello, my name is Annie Lee, and I thank you for joining me today. I will be presenting a health module on the topic Combating Childhood Obesity. During this presentation, I hope to teach you about childhood obesity through providing information on how it's diagnosed, who is at risk, what are some risk factors, how to prevent it, and how it is managed from a medical perspective. I also hope to show you how you play a major role in preventing obesity. And lastly, provide you with some information and resources to combat childhood obesity. I wanted to first share this true testimonial I read from a 12-year-old child. At first, I was 9. I noticed some of my clothes had started to get tighter. It was literally impossible to zip up my pants without having to breathe. As the months passed by, the pounds piled on. I looked awful. At 12, I am morbidly obese. Will someone please help me? Please. Imagine this is your own child or a child you may know. I ask that you remember this story throughout the presentation as a reminder that you can change this child's life. So what is childhood obesity? According to the Mayo Clinic, in general, it is a serious medical condition that affects children and adolescents. It is also when a child is above the normal weight for his or her age and height. Childhood obesity has major impacts on a child's quality of life. It can increase future risks of chronic health problems, including diabetes, high blood pressure, and cardiovascular disease. It impacts a child's confidence, self-image, and self-worth, which leads to psychological issues like depression and anxiety. It affects a child's social well-being. Obese children are more likely to be bullied at school and isolated by their peers. They also have difficulty engaging in everyday activities due to physical limitations. And lastly, obese children have 4 times more academic issues compared to their healthy counterparts. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2018, 23.5 million children in total were obese in the U.S. That equals 1 out of every 5 children. And more than 3 million new cases occur each year. Today, childhood obesity continues to be a preventable public health epidemic in the United States. Research has shown that higher rates of childhood obesity occur in low-income families, Hispanics, and non-Hispanic Blacks, due to issues including limited access to healthy food choices, the cost of healthy foods, and overexposure to poor health options like fast food. But we must remember that you are what you eat, and every child is at risk of childhood obesity. Childhood obesity occurs when there is a caloric imbalance in a child. This is when the amount of calories consumed accumulates faster than the amount of calories used up through, let's say, exercise or metabolism. As a result, anything that disrupts this balance will contribute to obesity. We will focus on 4 main risk factors that contribute to the imbalance today: genetics, learned behaviors and health habits, lifestyle, and the environment. Genetics are inherited genes from parents that make a child's body gain weight faster and easier. But remember, it is not the only factor to obesity. Eating more calories than needed can lead to obesity in anyone. Learned behaviors and habits. Eating behaviors as a child carry over to adulthood into habits over time. Eating behaviors include what we eat, when we eat it, and the amount of food that we eat. And other learned behaviors, such as seeing food as a reward or as comfort or love, will result in a child eating regardless of being full or hungry. The third risk factor is lifestyle. Parents are busy, leaving less time to cook nutritious meals at home. Children are eating more processed, unhealthy foods and having less physical activity overall. There's also a social media influence as well. About 10,000 food ads, including fast food, candy, soft drinks, sugary items, are seen yearly in the United States. And lastly, the environment. In the community, there's more options of fast food in some areas versus healthy markets. The cost of unhealthy foods is cheaper than a healthy alternative. In schools, unhealthy options in the vending machines and cafeteria lead to poorer health outcomes, and also less physical activity in PE. At home, access to more junk food and more TV and video games versus active physical activity outside. And if you're exhibiting habits of poor diet and little exercise, your children will follow. So what are the signs and symptoms to look for? Other than physical weight gain, there's really no other obvious signs, labs, or tests for childhood obesity. But please note that not all children with extra pounds are overweight or obese. Some children have larger than average body frames, and children normally carry different amounts of body fat at various stages of development. So you might not know just by looking at a child. As a result, there's something called the body mass index that is used as a guideline in the doctor's office to determine if a child has abnormal weight gain. So what is this body mass index? Well, it's a calculation based on weight and divided by height squared. A child is considered overweight if their BMI is above the 85th to 95th percentile for children and teens of the same age and sex. They're considered obese if their BMI is at or above the 95th percentile. This will be assessed at your child's wellness visit or the doctor's office. So, how do you manage childhood obesity? Well, first you would see your pediatrician or medical provider. They would do a wellness exam or checkups to see if further labs or tests need to be done, and also gain an extensive medical history as well. If your child is found to be obese, your provider will work with you and a medical team to develop a successful treatment plan, which includes reasonable weight loss goals, dietary management, like using a food diary, increasing physical activity, behavior modifications, and also family involvement. Research has shown that long-term effectiveness of a weight control program is significantly improved when intervention is directed at both the parents and child, as opposed to just the child. In addition, I just wanted to add that there's no current FDA-approved medication for appetite suppression or surgery, like bypass surgery, that has been clinically shown to improve children's weight. So, proactively, how can you be involved in preventing childhood obesity? Well, you can be involved in the community, at school, and at home. In the community, you can speak to local councilmen or representatives to improve the amount of produce in the area or advocate for cheaper options. At school, you can speak to teachers and principals to improve cafeteria and other food options in the vending machine and advocate for more PE and physical activity time. And at home, which is most influential, you can exhibit healthy habits of eating and exercise yourself and cook more home-cooked meals and provide healthier options. This is just expanding further on what you can do at home by providing proper nutrition through water, vegetables, fruits, and proteins, and decreasing junk, encouraging them to eat in moderation and not overeating, not using food as a reward or as comfort, decreasing the amount of video game time that they have or TV time, and teamwork. Practice healthy behaviors in diet and exercise so that you and your child can live a healthier life together. Here are some resources that you can use for free information on games and activities that can be done, nutritional advice in terms of what kind of meals you can use and what options are out there, as well as other strategies to help you develop a healthier lifestyle for yourself and your child. I wanted to remind you that childhood obesity is a serious issue, but a preventable one. I hope that you have been inspired today and empowered to be proactive in your health and your child's, because together you can help stop childhood obesity. Thank you very much. And these are references that were used throughout the presentation in case you wanted to look up more information. Thank you.